All right, guys, we are back here with our coverage of the ECL Elite, the final regular season broadcast here, and we are down to our final regular season matchup this time between HAVU and hREDS. We'll prepare for that after kind of recovering from what can only be described as an insane matchup between Feriestad and ZSC. Just kind of had a little bit of everything, didn't it?
Yeah, and what's funny about that is that obviously you look at these matchups and you see Feriestad, they're in 5th, and then ZSC, you're 11th, and usually you kind of look at that like, oh, well, ZSC, they're kind of just trying to wrap up their season and this, that, and the other, but that's what's so great about a season and a tournament like this is that every team is fighting for something. ZSC trying to make sure that they are in ECL Elite next season and being in that 11th spot. Only 1 point of the good coming into that matchup of not having to play relegation series. While for Feriestad in that 5th spot, but looking to improve, looking to gain points past IQ and looking to fend off HAVU, who we're going to see in a bit. So both of these teams playing for a lot. They certainly played like it, almost had that playoff series kind of vibe to it at Mano Manson, where we give it a treat in really both of those games. 2 overtimes, 2 throwers, and like you said, saw a little bit of everything in those matchups. So if HAVU and hREDS give us even anything close to that, we're in for an absolute treat for our next 2 games.
Yeah, well, I absolutely think there's a large chance of that happening here. As Feriestad, you mentioned, it got huge points. They didn't want to get, kind of overtaken by HAVU here, who is in that 6th spot, was very close to Feriestad, and gonna be tough for HAVU to get a 4 out of 4 points against hREDS, but we have seen HAVU be able to pull off some interesting and really crazy things this season. That being said, we will get you an updated look at the results and the standings around the league, things that have been going on. Well, there you go. There's actually no latest results. We lied. But as we try to perhaps refresh, or maybe we'll just go to the standings here because you guys, sometimes things just don't want to work. But there you go. That's also nice to see the standings. You can see Feriestad leapfrogging IQ into that 4 spot, and IQ solidified at least there in that 5 spot. If HAVU are able to get, I think, 2 points, and they might win on the tiebreaker, as we do use the goal differential or goals for the tiebreaker. I have to get word if I'm completely correct on that. But if HAVU can pull off, I think, at least 2 points, they will move into that 5 spot, which means they'll face Feriestad in the first round. And fortunately for IQ, they will have to take on Frölunda. It would have been crazy, though, seeing Frölunda and HAVU in that first round, as that was pretty much the normal championship matchup for several seasons in a row.
And it just kind of shows you how much things have grown and how many more teams have kind of rose up here in the ECL. You have to remember, it wasn't all that long ago that a team by the name of Jyväskylä was consistently in that same conversation, and they're in the Pro Series doing very well down there, but got relegated last season. So there's a lot of teams that have kind of risen their way up into this top kind of echelon in the ECL Elite, and the team in number 1, a good example of that, in Sawo Esports at number 1, they're going to be scoreboard watching for both of these games, because if HAVU can hold hREDS to no points, they will be at that number 1 spot. So, and Sin, who expected them to be there? I think everyone kind of thought it was going to be hREDS, Frölunda, IQ, HAVU, kind of that top 4. Maybe you could talk about Goons being there. A lot of teams and a lot of players kind of had Sawo around that 5 to 6 range, formerly Tunnel Vision. For them to be at that number 1 spot, I think that just kind of goes to show you how many teams have kind of risen up the ranks and have really given some high-quality competition for some of those high-end championship teams that we've seen over the past few years.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's going to be tough for hREDS to not pick up even a single point in this matchup, or just because they're hREDS, defending champions. I think they went 14-0 before they finally lost a game, and then I think the first game they lost was in overtime anyway. But it's just been a crazy ride so far in this season. And why not get a closer look at these 2 teams and what they've been able to do in this season of HAVU and hREDS. You can see there just an absolutely ridiculous goal total coming out from hREDS.
Yeah, 103 goals in 28 games. That is just astronomical, is really the way you describe it. And if you put HAVU up against just about anyone else, that 83 goals for really is going to take over whoever they're playing. But when you have a team like hREDS that is so star-studded across the board and some of the star power that they have, it makes that number almost look small, but it's really not. HAVU is one of the better goal scoring teams in the league. As a matter of fact, they have the second most goals for in the league, and hREDS obviously has the first. So it just kind of goes to show you that even though HAVU is able to score, when you put him up against a team like hREDS, it just looks like such a major difference. But hey, it's going to be fun. It just means that defense for that goaltending for HAVU really going to have to step up even more so than they usually would.
Absolutely, and let's get a look at the lineups. You said star-studded. We're going to see plenty of those across the board here for HAVU. Up front, it's Wiegelsen, Dominointi, and Flyer Kungen. On the back end, Nasustelia and Vilikun. Between the pipes today, it is Sibelius, who does split time with Hanselino, but Sibelius getting the nod today. On the side of hREDS, of course, Villapoika on the left wing, Benito in the middle, and Nikki Dangles on that right wing side. Domi and King of Apes rounding out the defensive end, and of course, FaZe between the pipes. I mean, star-studded is an understatement for both of these two teams, and let's get to the comparisons as we love to do. The center matchup, first and foremost, between Dominointi and Benito, and about as close as it gets.
Yeah, and you kind of see that there really with every single stat, whether it be goals, points, or even the face-off percentage right down below on your screen. They are about as even as they come, and they've been two of the better centers throughout the ECL Elite this season. And for Dominointi, you know, it's a little different when you see Benito on the other side, the captain for hREDS, but like we said, he's been pretty up to par with him. 35 assists, 57 points. Both of these guys are in the top 5 in that assist category at 4 and 3 respectively. So they've both been playmakers. They have both been solid two-way players for their respective teams. It's going to be a lot of fun watching those guys go head-to-head at that position.
Absolutely, two-way play is going to be immensely important in this matchup. Both of these teams play as a single unit as we move over to the battle of the wingers here. And of course, we saw in the lineup, you know, Wiegelsen and Flyer Kungen there. Again, a sick amount of points for them. Wiegelsen, a new addition to HAVU this year, definitely seems to be a remedy from something that they were ailing from, as his point total up there at 58, which I believe was good enough for 7th in the league.
Yeah, and 5th best in the league for goals with 30, so he's kind of giving them that goal-scoring punch on that wing, which against a team like hREDS that has plenty of that with Villapoika and Nikki Dangles, it is so important to have that. So Wiegelsen has provided them that, but do not underrate Flyer Kungen either. He has 48 points in his own right, and I know that against a team like hREDS and with some of his fellow high-quality forwards, that might look on the lower side, but he is able to give them that when they need it. He has shown up big plays, and he's kind of one of those players to where he might not do that flashy play, he might not necessarily have those high point totals, but when you have so much attention attracted towards Wiegelsen and Dominointi, who have those high numbers, you can kind of leave Flyer Kungen a little bit lax off of him, and boy, will he make you pay whenever he has that chance. So you cannot sleep on him either. All of these forwards are so good, and they can all make you pay if you make that one little mistake positionally to give them that time and space that they need.
Yeah, you mentioned kind of Flyer Kungen and, you know, how he plays with details like a true captain. You know, will do whatever it takes to help his team win, especially on the defensive end. And speaking on the defensive end, we move over to the battle of these two defensive pairings on the side of HAVU, Nasustele and Vilikun, who it took a while for Vilikun to kind of get going scoring-wise, but since then, he has been rock solid. And on the flip side, Domi and King of Apes, who once again at times were a bit slower out of the gate, but are now sitting there pretty with those nice point totals.
Yeah, and it's interesting with Vilikun, you wouldn't have thought that he had that slow start to the scoring tallies because he has 10 goals and that's tied for first of all defensemen in the ECL Elite. So he's had that goal-scoring touch, and he has those shots to where he will get those chances and is able to capitalize more times than not if you give him that space. We saw that was something that ZSC did a lot with Tony on the left D, so could be something we see from HAVU only on the right side for them. While for hREDS, you don't have to say too much to kind of tell the story on how good Domi and King of Apes are. They have been two of the best defensemen and one of the best defensive pairings in the ECL for such a long time. They're really one of the staples of those teams, and it's one thing when you're able to play these teams and you're able to blow them out 5 goals, 6 goals, like we know that hREDS has that ability too. But when you're playing a team like HAVU on the other side with the championship experience, with the pedigree, with that ability to win those big games against those elite teams. Those two, Domi and King of Apes, are the ones that really show out because of that defensive prowess, where it's not the pretty 6-7 goals performances that you'll see from the three forwards. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see how that kind of sees itself out. And the goalies have a lot to do with that as well. We'll see here in just a minute.
Yeah, I mean, perfect segue as we look at the goalies here, Sibelius and FaZe. And Sibelius definitely not with the stat line that he's used to. They're continuing to go with the tandem 1A, 1B type scenario here. But Sibelius, it's just simply not what we're used to seeing. He's simply, kind of getting the shorter end of the stick here. But on the opposite side, FaZe kind of passing all the tests with flying colors.
Yeah, and as FaZe normally does, he is one of the best in ECL for a reason. The MVP of ECL Elite 12 and their championship win against Frölunda. So we all know what he is capable of. 24-2-2 for a reason. One of the best goalie statistics with both save percentage and goals against average. So not shocking to see FaZe doing what he is doing, especially when he has a team like that in front of him. It's so dangerous to play against. But man, how about Sibelius? Like you said, obviously they kind of go with that 1A, 1B with Hanselinho and Sibelius. Sibelius, like you said, kind of that short end of the stick. He's a much better goalie than what those stats would tend to indicate. He has had some big wins, has made some big saves against high-end teams for this HAVU team. Could this maybe be the start of a kind of a bounce back for him? It would be huge to do that versus hREDS, especially as we kind of get into the playoffs. You don't really know what HAVU will throw at you in terms of that goaltending, so important that both of those guys are on. So a big chance here for Sibelius to do so, and to do so against arguably the best team and the championship favorite of this ECL Elite season.
Yeah, hard not to call him the favorite after the season that they had last season, obviously. And you mentioned, I kind of want to touch on a few things that you mentioned. Domi and King of Apes, how good they are defensively. And you said it, you're not going to see many 6-7 goal games here. That's exactly what we saw in the championship when they surprisingly swept Frölunda, but every single game besides one was determined by one goal. It was like a 2-1 win, a 1-0 win, and that came down to hREDS just playing phenomenal defense throughout the entire time. And again, touching on Sibelius a bit, couple seasons ago when he was with Jypi Vaskala, who we talked about, he was the best goaltender. Jypi Vaskala was the best team, and it was a lot to do with their defense. The potential's there. HAVU, a solid defensive team as well. So we're kind of just waiting for Sibelius to sort of figure it out here, and what a time to do it this would be against this hREDS team, who are, again, best defensive team, best offensive team, top of the mountain right now. And HAVU, I'm sure, with a chip on their shoulder, looking to kind of throw their name back into that hat once again. Guys, again, we're going to let you know about our rebrand that happened here. Sportsgamer.gg is the website. It'll show you all the information that you need to know. Stats, standings, schedule, all that good stuff. And of course, on social media at SportsGamerGG. You see all the links there in the chat that the lovely bot has posted for you. And we are just about ready for puck drop here. hREDS, HAVU, a clash of the titans here, if you will. HAVU in the white, a big hit check coming out from hREDS in the red. That was Nicky Dangles, who has become such a dynamic two-way player, as Benito trying to feed Wiegelson. Sorry, that was Villapoica down low. And there it is, a big blast. King of Apes lets loose. Sibelius gets beat, and hREDS jump up to an early 1-goal lead.
Yeah, and you can hear the ring of the post all the way here in North America on that one, Sin. That was an absolute blast of a shot there from Domi, and he has 6 goals. We started talking about how great they are defensively and this, that, and the other, about how the defense wins a lot of these games against these high-end teams for hREDS. Well, Domi saying, hey, do not forget about our offense. We can put the pucks into that when we are asked to, and he wasted no time to do so there, just a minute and a half in.
Trying to look for the break-in once again. Villikun, Nasustelli will settle it for HAVU. Not the position that they wanted to be in. HAVU much more prefer, as a lot of teams do, playing with the lead, but that's kind of one of HAVU's strengths, when they're able to sort of set up those layers of defense against you and begin to frustrate you. But playing from behind early on, they won't be able to do that as much. Here's they're in on the forecheck, unable to maintain. Benito sends it over to Domi. Domi, unfortunately, it goes offside. We'll have a whistle here, 15-37 in the first.
We're really going to see some early adversity, so to speak, for HAVU, because now not only are you down 1-0 early, but you were down 1-0 early against a team in hREDS that really does so well. It's like when they get that momentum, they're so hard to stop once they get the ball rolling. It's like seeing a ball roll downhill when you see that on the other side. So HAVU really gonna have to try to find a response here and quick.
Villapoika working it down low. Nice intercept from Villikun. A bit of a stutter step in his way, trying to find some space. They do get the puck out. Yes, King of Apes will retrieve it in the neutral zone, not trying to risk holding it in and perhaps seeing Weagleson take off the other way. And offside, they'll be forced to tag up, but this is where hREDS is dangerous. They're line up at the blue line. Somehow, though, Weagleson does find his way in. Flyer Kungen with the puck, sending down low, back around, but unfortunately, Weagleson can't get the possession, and Nasustelli will have to chase it down. Villikun got to be careful there. Nikki Dangles, a turnover forced, and here they are, back in on the attack. Domi sent down low. Villapoika keeps it around the net, looking for the wrap chance, broken up by Nasustelli, feeds it over to Weagleson. And up to Flyer Kungen, the captain, down the left wing side. Feeds the middle to Dominointi. Dominointi now, back to the point. Nasustelli delays, back down low to Dominointi, back around, looking for a quick little jam play there at the side of the net, but no dice, as Domi will settle it. And HAVU going with their, it's aggressive but not aggressive. They can be aggressive at any time they want, Weagleson and Flyer Kungen, but they'll give you that space, they'll give you that cushion, that sense of security, and try to pounce on you. It's what they've been doing all year, and it really worked out for them. Kun over to Nasustelli. Resetting, really taking their time with it, not intimidated by the 1-goal differential quite yet, with it still being in this first period. King of Apes to Nikki Dangles, a spin pass there, they break it in, and towards the nets, kind of seemingly coming out of nowhere, there's Benito and Villapoika crashed the net, and that puck kind of skittered between the legs of Sibelius, but he's able to shut it down.
Yeah, and he's seen some of those really close, dicey chances so far in this first period. Right in front of the net, just kind of pucks to make trickle of chances to breakaway here.
And Flyer Kungen scores on the breakaway. Goes forehand phase. Chose the wrong way to try to stop, and Flyer Kungen tying this game up for his team. A good captain leads by example.
Yeah, oh, my captain there for HAVU. We said in the opening, do not sleep on Flyer Kungen. He may not have the stats, but like any good captain is, as you said, Sid, he is opportunistic and has a very high IQ of being able to make the right play at the right time. He made the nice cut, got where he needed to be to get that breakaway going, and capitalized on a goalie in phase that is hard to beat one pass when he has that positioning. A great play for HAVU to get themselves back in a first period that was kind of not really going their way, especially to start.
Yeah, absolutely, and we kind of saw them being patient with it, which is a good sign to see. They weren't going to panic quite yet, and it did pay off, but speaking of that, got to be careful now. Villapoika in on the attack, and hREDS looking to pick up where they left off and apply the pressure. Flyer Kungen battling on the wall. Nice little quick pass out, patient play from Villikun. You can see just how experienced these guys are, but you can see how dangerous hREDS are as well on that forecheck, but not quite broken out either. Here comes Villapoika back in. Retrieve for Nasustelli, sent around to Villikun, all the way up to Flyer Kungen, and Domi, as he's done all year, somehow picks it off. Nasustelli trying to kind of pass that up the boards. No one home. Villapoika, and a bit of a bouncing puck right now, unable to be settled. Nikki Dangles to Villapoika, he scores! On the blocker side, the give and go with Nikki Dangles. Back into the slot, he rifles it home on Sibelius. hREDS take back the lead.
Villapoika doing what he does best for this hREDS team, and that is scoring goals, using that close quarters X factor yet again to just pick that top left corner, putting it up top where the kids can't get it. Goal number 47 on the season for Villapoika. He leads the ECL Elite Division with that tally, and hREDS right back where they were with a 1-goal lead.
Obviously leading the league, and you can see by the gold helmet leading his team. That's what the gold helmet signifies here in the ECL Elite, your team's leading scorer, and Villapoika leading just almost about every category, it seems. Just a monstrous player here for hREDS, as that will do it for the first period. hREDS, what a big strike at the end there to take that momentum back. So we're going to see the first goal here from, I believe that was King of Apes on the one-time. Just an absolute insane shot off the post and in, and that's kind of what started it off for hREDS.
Yeah, and it's funny, Sin, because you see hREDS, they score a goal in about the first minute of the game, and they score a goal in about the last minute of the first period. And we talk about all the time, especially in these esports games, in the ECL, especially with how good every team is. It's so important when you can get that first goal of a period to get that momentum starting for you, or that last goal of a period to kind of carry that forward into the second or third. And hREDS, they've gotten both. They got the first goal of the game early, and they were able to tie it back up after HAVU responded on the breakaway with that goal in the last minute. So hREDS, they might not have a lot of opportunities in this game, just 3 shots on net, but they have been opportunistic, and they have taken advantage of the chances they have gotten, and they've done it in timely points. So now HAVU, right back where they were, going to have to try to chase the response.
Yep, and maybe not as patient as they were here now in the second period, but again, not going to panic yet. Again, very experienced team. That being said, an awkward bounce off the goaltender Sibelius, and hREDS threatening once again with offense, but a great saucer pass. Flyer Coogan with speed. Bit of a 2-on-1 developing, sends it across. Eagleson cannot bury it. Nasu Stelia with the puck sent down low to Dominointi. And Weagleson battling with, I think that was Domi behind the net. They come up with it. King of Apes now leading the rush. Drop back to Benito. Back down low. Villapoica has it. King of Apes trying to feed it in front. Does hit Nicky Dangles, who has some trouble with it, just getting bodied relentlessly. Still fighting for the puck. But Nasu Steli will break it out. Billy Kuhn hits Flyer. Couldn't get a nice cut by him. Couldn't maintain possession. That could have been great. Could have been around Domi right there. Another possible chance out on the flip side. A great pass there. Drop pass to Benito. Dropped back again. Unable to have it. Weagleson can't get past King of Apes. Smart play to just chop it aside and wait for some help back there. Domi gets behind the net for the pass. Nicky Dangles. Great little play, nice stick work at the lines. You see it so often. Players, as soon as they get that puck, kind of whip their stick to the opposite side to avoid the inevitable poke check at the blue line. Billy Kuhn and Nasu Steli just being patient with it. They got to be careful. Some of these passes, a little bit of an issue with it, but the two-man forecheck coming out, and they finally work it out. Ever dangerous is that hREDS forecheck. Weagleson behind the net. For a pass, hits Flyer Kungen. Couldn't quite get to the backhand with any momentum. Gets the puck back, and what a play! Weagleson, I think that hit the post right there. Tough angle. Just an incredible play once again by Flyer Kungen. Heads up just to kind of throw that puck down low to Weagleson. Unfortunately, can't capitalize. Dominointi now has it. Turns it over to Nicky Dangles again. They're just so scary. I mean, both of these teams have scary wingers on the forecheck, but hREDS with their aggression just cranks up a notch as they force another turnover. Nice recovery and poke from Billy Kuhn. Nicky Dangles down low. Dodges the tie up on the boards. Domi. Then low to Villapoica. Benito gets it back, trying to look for that quick short side shot for Villapoica there. Couldn't quite connect. Nasu Steli up the boards, and Weagleson will break it out. Dodges the first poke, but can't dodge the second as King of Apes had him closed off and gapped properly. Billy Kuhn. With a bit of trouble, and they force the turnover once again. Benito with a shot, saved by Sibelius, and King of Apes came in there, looking for that rebound to kind of put home. Just all over them right now are hREDS. Domi with the puck at the point, skates away. Back down low to Nicky Dangles. Nice defense from Dominointi. HAVU got to get this pressure off. Passed up, they can't connect. It will go all the way down. Won't be icing. Looks like it might have hit off the post right there. Weagleson with the puck to Dominointi. Over to Billy Kuhn, who's got that shot, but a bit of a careless pinch right there. Villapoica in, 2-on-1 developing the shot. The save by Sibelius. No follow-up opportunity there as well. Good job by the HAVU netminder.
We questioned in this game, would this be a game in a series where Sibelius could potentially get things back going on the right track before the playoffs? Well, Sid, he's been solid here on some really quality chances that hREDS has had. He's had a few go past him, some maybe not to his fault nevertheless, but overall this game, Sibelius, not too shabby so far. Some big saves and a big one right there on the breakaway.
Absolutely not. It's just the quality of chances that he's facing as well. The shot total might not be there, but oftentimes with these top teams, you really see them with the patience, looking for their chances because they're simply good enough to kind of, surgically dissect, some of these defenses, just pick them apart and get the chances that they want. We're seeing that from hREDS, or just, with those turnovers forced to get those in-tight chances when HAVU's not quite ready. But Weagleson breaks it in. King of Apes, nice job on the defensive end once again. Domi now. Nice move, but can't get past the poke of Villikun. Nasustelia behind the net with it. Careful here. That's exactly why he gets hung up on the net a little bit, and the forecheck comes in. Blood in the water, a shot from in tight. Nikki Dangles gets turned aside, stone cold by Sibelius.
Yeah, that's about the third or fourth time that there's been a close call for HAVU on their own end. They're going to have to really watch on that breakout because hREDS doing a good job of hitting them behind the net.
Absolutely. I mean, just when you think you're safe, someone comes in and pressures you, you kind of get hung up on the nut right there. You know, game mechanics or otherwise, good job capitalizing by hREDS and getting that chance out of it. Dominointi and Weagleson over there. Nasustelia on the pinch, gets a shot away, but FaZe says no, maintaining that 1-goal lead for his team.
And I think that that was a good example of something that you talked about earlier, Sin. The way that hREDS is able to execute that aggressive play style so well. And obviously in ECL Elite, it's funny, you see a lot of teams either commit to one or the other. Either they'll go full-on aggression or they'll stay back and kind of let you come at them and react to what you do. But what's so good with a team like hREDS, with the talent and the skill and the IQ and the cohesion that they have as a 5-man unit, is that they can throw different looks at you and really just turn certain play styles on at the drop of the hat, depending on what they need to do of the way that the game flows. It's what makes them so good and makes them so hard to play. HAVU's had to respond to that. They haven't done a bad job so far, but it's just so hard to contain that against a team like hREDS that has all of those factors and all many things like that going for them. They can just switch play styles, play a different way, and throw different looks at you really whenever they choose to do it.
Yeah, again, you see you don't necessarily always see players out there making plays. You see the team making plays. You see the team kind of, and that's really what separates the good from the great here in the Elite. They just play as one. They almost just seem like a machine at times. Just once again in on the attack, shot just wide. That was Villapoika there. Once again working it down low. Shot from King of Apes gets blocked by Nasustelia. Was that a trip? It indeed was right there. So we will see HAVU going to the power play. Nasustelia had a little bit of trouble with it. Sibelius waiting to skate to the bench, and they'll just hand it over to hREDS. They don't want to risk it whatsoever, and they'll be heading to the power play here as Nikki Dangles off to the box.
Yeah, this is going to be a big opportunity there for HAVU. They're middle of the road on the power play, 7th best in the league at 21%. hREDS, #1 penalty kill in the league with an insane 96.23%. So a chance for HAVU. They're known to be opportunistic, but a different beast that they're facing on the other side.
Different beast is a great way to put it. That being said, oh, what a chance right there. Nasustelia just couldn't get the puck. It skittered around on the doorstep, and he would have had a chasm to shoot at, essentially, there on the side of the net. They'll work it around the perimeter. Dominointi now. You can see that HAVU defensemen, they keep collapsing in as the more possession they get. You'll watch Nasustelia and Villikun get closer, and closer, and that's if they're able to get those one-times off. It's so much harder for that goaltender to adjust, like a pack of wolves closing around their prey. Villikun down low to Dominointi. Flyer Kungen, a little trouble with it, and it's a delayed penalty, so a slash. And we'll go to 4-4 for a few seconds before hREDS will get a shortened power play. I believe that was Weagleson there behind the net, tried to stick lift and just got someone's hand, I think.
Yeah, and every now and then you'll have that unfortunate penalty in those puck battles that are in tight spaces on the boards. An unfortunate one for HAVU, because now not only do you just have 13 seconds on the 4-on-4, but you get a great power play on the ice in hREDS starting now. Yeah,
they bide their time with it, and Nikki Dangles comes back on the ice, and they'll set up. Benito in the corner boards. Shoots on net. Nikki Dangles got the deflection, looked for the rebound, but it somehow stayed out. Good defense, good goaltending there, preventing him from getting a clean second look. King of Apes now leading the rush back. They gain the line. Nice poke. Villikun can't clear. Dominointi does get the secondary one out. 30 seconds left here for hREDS. Nice poke there in the neutral zone from Flyer Kungen, one of the most dangerous players with that defensive skill stick. Down low, intercepted briefly by Villikun. Dominointi gets it, tries to send it out. Here come Weagleson in out of the box. Nasustelli gets a puck post off, and Villapoica will win the race. That's a 3-on-1 developing here. Over! Whoa, what a blocker save coming out from Sibelius as his defender went on the ice in desperation, but Sibelius remained calm and made that save, and they stave off the secondary pressure as well. 3-on-2 now developing for HAVU briefly. Around the net, Wiegelson back to Flyer Kungen, tries the short side, sticks with it, him and Dominointi trying to get the puck from Villapoica. Here come hREDS. Over to Nicky Dangles, trying to get that one in. Nasustelli pokes it away. Flyer Kungen, a nice little move right there. Decides not to go around the net where someone was pressuring, and it worked out. They got the breakout. Billy Kuhn. Now Wiegelson behind the net to the center. Dominointi back to Billy Kuhn. Nice little switch with Flyer Kungen. Trying for an in-tight play maybe. The pass didn't quite get away. There the Flyer Kungen on the doorstep. But he forces the turnover once again. We're seeing that shift a little bit now. HAVU forcing the turnover as Wiegelson can't get the shot away, but the remaining hungry. Dominointi with the puck. Almost gets the last turnover as well, but Villapoica going the other way. Tries the move, but it'll put everyone offside.
Yeah, and it's funny, Sid, because we talked about how hREDS has that ability to adapt to the situation and kind of adjust their play style according to that. HAVU has that ability to do the same thing. You got to remember, as good as hREDS is, HAVU is an elite team. They are one of the best. They have been one of the best for years to come. They were in the position that hREDS is currently in as that top dog that everyone is trying to get towards. It kind of has their target, or have that target on their back. So HAVU, they have that same ability, and you're kind of seeing that, being able to adjust their play style, do it with intent, and also in the same kind of sense, being able to do it in the flip of the switch, really. When they need to turn on aggression, they can do that, but they also will pull back when needs be. And now 7:36 to go, down by 1. Might see a little bit more of that aggression starting to be flipped on.
I think you're absolutely right here, and perhaps one of the more dangerous positions that HAVU can be in is not being perhaps respected as one of those top teams. Maybe in an underdog scenario, you cannot take them lightly, as you were saying. And Wiegelson works it back. Shot on from the point, hits Flyer Kungen in front. Nasustelli back to Billy Kuhn. The deflection somehow stays out. I think hit the toe of FaZe right there, but he was animating one way. The shot deflected back the other. Here's Benito on the counterattack. Back behind the net, Billy Kuhn picks it off, and they'll start to break out the other way. The pass off the boards to Flyer Kungen. Bull rushes his way in the zone. Pass back to Nasustelli. Nice little stop and go move, but then a poke from out of nowhere, seemingly. Makes that puck back to the neutral zone. But HAVU right now seeming like the ice is tilted a bit more in their favor, but running out of time. The pass back, Nasustelli. The give and go off the 1T. The shot didn't quite make it through. And hREDS now breaking it back out. King of Apes leading the way. Nicky Dangles to Villapoica. Nicky Dangles back with it. Now Benito. Backhand shot on. Sibelius will be forced to cover.
Sibelius, at least in my opinion, has been the MVP of this game for HAVU. He has stopped multiple really high danger opportunities for hREDS in this game, and considering who was on your opposition, that is no easy task to do. So Sibelius looking good. Can HAVU get him that one goal to maybe tie this thing up and put it into extra time?
Exactly what he needs. You want to repay your goaltender when he's having a good performance. He's kept them close the entire game when hREDS was bearing down on him. And here they come, a wrap chance and another opportunity it looked like for Dominointi. But here's that counterattack from hREDS. Over to Benito. Benito on the backhand. A marvelous save coming out from Sibelius here with just a minute left. We'll give HAVU a fighting chance on the counterattack. Dump and chase coming out, cross corner, everyone's on side. Dominointi, Flyer Kungen bearing down. Wiegelson getting in on the rush as well. Back to Nasustelli. Over to Billy Kuhn. Down low to Flyer Kungen. A little trouble. Still keeps it in. Benito trying to work it out. Has a bit of space. On that backhand. Feeds it in front. What a pass. The Nicky Dangles the spin move. Back in front. And another save by Sibelius doing his utmost to keep his team alive. HAVU need this puck. They need to get it back down to their end for an offensive chance. They have it now. All four men committing to the rush with 15 seconds left. You're going to see a whole heck of a lot more of that at this point. Send all 5, and you'll see all 5 of hREDS on the line to prevent that break-in. A pass. Dominointi will get it. A little bit of trouble. Down low, Flyer Kungen on net. No rebound as FaZe swallows it up. 1.5 seconds. There is a chance for a face-off play.
And FaZe just kind of clapping that glove on top of the puck. You see Sibelius going to come out. Got to get a quick play here if you're HAVU.
Win. Shot and blocked. Unfortunately, Billy Kuhn couldn't quite get the one time. It went a little bit more towards his backhand than he wanted, and hREDS will get the victory in regulation, but A kind of a heart-stopping end to that game right there, where HAVU kept trying to pour on the pressure. The counterattack from hREDS capitalizing on the aggressiveness, and Sibelius, how wonderful was he between the pipes?
Yeah, Sibelius, he answered all of our questions there in the pregame, and you have to feel good, even though if you don't get the win, Sibelius playing as well as he did, a guy that has had a lot of history of being one of the top goalies in this division, not having his best season, to be able to put up a game like that and to compete with a team that is the reigning champion and arguably the favorite to win yet again this season, to have the type of game that Sibelius had, really encouraging. And now you get a chance to kind of build on that here in the next game. Obviously for HAVU, still something to play for to try to get in that 4 or 5 spot. So we'll see how this game goes here, but encouraging for Sibelius. hREDS though with the win, and not just the win, but clinching the #1 seed. Remember, they were 1 point out of Sawa. That win gives them 2. They clinch now, so they will be #1 in the playoff standings after that one.
Yeah, absolutely huge for hREDS to solidify that and get their earn the right to play that 8th seed here when we do begin the playoffs, which is, again, right around the corner. This is, for those of you just joining us, our final regular season broadcast to Giants going head-to-head in HAVU and hREDS. And I mean, I'm going to shout you out. You called it exactly. We aren't going to see most likely a 6 or 7 goal game. We're going to see a tight defensive game, low scoring, and it's exactly that. Even though how talented both these offenses are, it's the team defense and those goaltenders making the big saves when needed.
Yeah, and that's typically what you're going to get when you are matching up against a team of the same caliber as you. As great as hREDS is, like we were kind of saying earlier, HAVU has been exactly where hREDS is now. They've been that top dog. They have won those championships, and they have that same pedigree, if not even more so of a pedigree than hREDS has in terms of the amount of championships that they have won and the amount of accomplishments that they have. So when you have that experience, when you have that pedigree, and when you are a fellow powerhouse, you are typically going to see close games when 2 of those teams collide, match up with one another. We saw that here yet again, and we said that the defense and goaltending was going to step up. Sibelius stepped up for HAVU and made some big saves. Domi and King of Apes were huge, and even FaZe with a few big saves there when HAVU kind of tried to push back there in the last 5 to 7 minutes of the game. So what we kind of expected to see, we saw come into fruition, and it'll be interesting to see how these 2 teams adjust going into game 2, especially with HAVU still looking to kind of gain some points to move their way up in the standings for playoffs.
Yeah, they definitely want to try to move their way up, as you were saying, and the second game should have sparks just as much as the first one, but we'll throw to a break really quick to hear from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a few moments.
Loistava vapauttava syöttö ja sen jälkeen ollaan karkumatkalla. Minkälaisia ratkaisuja tulee? Tämän kaverin nimittäin on ollut todella kylmän viileä näissä paikoissa. Kilven räpylän puolelle kummalle tulee liikkuvat taakse kiekkomaali! Ja Vilhelm jälleen kerran nakkikioskille. Smokey Bites ja Snacks ovat tuoneet hienosti lisää leveyttä Vilhelm joukkueeseen.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, guys, and I promise just a few moments and we're back. Huge shout out to our sponsors for this season, and Wilhelm, Kouvolan Lakritsi, and ST Hockey for helping make the Elite Division what it is. I mean, big shout outs to those guys. It's incredible the support that we get and support from you guys out there as well. Chat, the viewers, and some awesome guys stepping in into the casting booth. And B Major, Tymo, and Lime. Everyone has had to step in. The season has just been fantastic. It's always a pleasure to work with everyone here. But we have another game. One more game. Final of the regular season. And if that first game is gonna, kind of lend anything that what'll happen in the second game, I think we're set for something that could be absolutely ridiculous. HAVU and hREDS here, and Major, I mean, is your heart returning to normal rate yet?
Still kind of calming down a little bit, because you have to remember, not only did we just see a high-paced game in that one with a lot of action, but we had 2 more games earlier between Fediestad and ZSC where we felt like we got a little bit of everything, including overtime period. So still just trying to kind of calm down a little bit, but thanks to our sponsors, got a little bit of a break, got to kind of calm down a little bit, give ourselves a chance to breathe, and now we prep up for game 2 between HAVU and hREDS, with HAVU still looking to get that standings climb, and hREDS just kind of preparing for playoffs against a good team after clinching that 1 seed there in the first game. So going to be fun to see these two match up with really just two powerhouses with a lot to win for.
Yeah, and I gotta say, if you're hREDS especially, you want HAVU to stay in 6th place, because if you do, you're guaranteeing that either Frölunda or HAVU will be eliminated in the first round, and that will make hRED's path towards their repeat of the championship a little bit more easy. It's not going to be easy, obviously, but it'll just be that much more possible or probable, if you will, for a team like hREDS, and they look good in that. But again, that late push from HAVU shows why they're still one of the top dogs in this elite division, and see if they can get off to a slightly better start, perhaps getting that first goal. I think that could be really important.
Yeah, I think that first 40 minutes was kind of the difference there in what won and lost HAVU the game. They kind of started to push there in the last 15 minutes of the third period, but it was just too little too late, and they weren't able to break one through. So if they can play the way they did on that last 15 to 10 minutes of the third in game one, I really like their chances, especially with a lot to play for, trying to avoid that Frölunda matchup if they can.
Yeah. Absolutely, as that will be, I mean, for us out there, a heck of a matchup to witness, but we'll feel a bit robbed if, one of those two great teams does have to be eliminated in that first round. But here we are, the second game between these two teams. hREDS in the beautiful off-white and red, and HAVU in their home black and green. They try to break it out, but once again, that hREDS attack, and it somehow sneaks in. It looked like a pass going out front, hit off the goaltender's pad, and goes in. So just like last game, an early lead for hREDS.
hREDS, they've had a few of those opportunities off of turnovers near the crease, and they finally were able to convert on one right there with Benito being able to put that in. We saw in game one there were some close calls, some dicey loose pucks there in that post front of the net area near Sibelius. Unfortunately for HAVU, that one finally saw itself through, and just like in game one, they find themselves with a really early deficit just 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and again, not what you want to have to do against this hREDS squad. Play it from behind, because that's where they can burn you. I mean, they can burn you in so many ways, but when you have to play into this team, that's when they can really make you pay here. And I don't know, we'll see. We saw HAVU displaying patience after going down early in this one. They've gone down in the same manner again. Will they be able to maintain that same patience and try to tie this game up, or will we see them perhaps gripping those controllers a bit more tightly and extending themselves a little bit earlier to try to get that tie?
I think as much as you know who hREDS is, you kind of have to continue with who you are, but man, taking a penalty not going to help there for HAVU as they're going to go on the PK.
It's the center going to the box as well. Dominointi just trying to kind of, guide that defensive skill stick into the puck. Unfortunately, guides it into the feet of Villapoika on that wing. So hREDS a chance to double up their lead here on the power play, which has been phenomenal all season. But Villikun gets the puck off of the draw and will get the clear. Both defensemen back to prevent it from going all the way down. King of Apes now with the puck, looking for the re-entry. Nice little bit of play, a pass off the board, and then a give and go back to Benito. Now Nicky Dangles behind the net, trying to find Villapoika, fails to do so. The pass across, the shot, and puck still loose, skittering just wide there of Sibelius, but maintained possession. And a backhand after a nifty pass from Benito across the slot. Nice clear from behind the net. HAVU dodge a bullet there. King of Apes now get down 30 seconds, 20 seconds now on the power play. Gain the line. They'll try to set up and get a chance. Down low, Flyer Kungen gets the puck. Someone got the puck finally. That one kind of skittered dangerously in front of the net, but no one home for hREDS. Back to 5-on-5. Weagleson gets the puck, tries to take it in. A poke from Domi, and Villapoika won't quite have the speed there. Good job from the defense to get back and break that one up. Nice saucer pass to Weagleson from Dominointi. Again, unable to gain the zone past the blue line. Domi and King of Apes have been ridiculously good here, but they get it in that time. And Flyer Kungen sneaks it in on the short side, uses the puck protect, brings it back in. It somehow finds a gap there on phase. We have a tie game.
Well, if the virtual venue and jerseys didn't change, I would have thought we were looking at a replay of game one, where hREDS gets an early goal about a minute and a half in, and then HAVU, just about 5 minutes later, Flyer Kungen ties it up. So identical deja vu starts to both of these two games, and man, did HAVU need that one to try to get themselves back into it and not let them play into the hand of hREDS.
Yeah, I mean, that's just absolutely huge to get that tying marker. Now they got to look for that go-ahead goal here. That would be immensely just huge. I mean, to be able to play with a lead, they simply haven't had one of those yet for any point of time, but hREDS right back on the attack. Benito gets the puck back. Benito with a shot turned aside by Sibelius. Behind the net now. Nasustelli works it out to Wiegelson. Wiegelson over to Dominointi, and he couldn't quite get to the back end to try to beat FaZe, but a nice chance in tight there for HAVU. Definitely making a push here. Villapoika takes the shot on from a tough angle around the net, trying to hit Benito. He couldn't get the shot through. Dominointi with the puck, sending it over, but turned over once again. Dominointi now trying to work it out. A skater right on his back, and it's that forecheck coming out from hREDS. So dangerous. That puck all the way down. No icing on the play. King of Apes now tries to hit his man. That will go for icing, so HAVU will be rewarded with an offensive zone draw.
We haven't gotten to see a lot of these offensive zone draws in this game for HAVU, so a chance for them to maybe win this faceoff, get something established in the offensive zone, and maybe even take the lead for the first time here in this two-game series.
Absolutely massive. They win the draw. Villikun comes up on the play, but that could mean a 2-on-1 back the other way. Villikun back-checking like a madman does help to break it up, but Nicky Dangles still in. Short-handed, hREDS looking to attack, and Flyer Kungen works his way out. Beautiful pass up to Dominointi, self-sauce to gain some speed, a little bit too far ahead of him, and King of Apes able to work that away. But Villapoika doesn't get rid of it, so Flyer Kungen does it for him and gets that puck for his team. Dominointi now in the slot, has the puck, looking, can't make the pass, can't take a shot, and hREDS coming back the other way, looking to attack. Now Wiegelson on the left wing side. Back to the point, Nasustelia. He goes in, can't get the shot away. And a little bit of back and forth here in the neutral zone, but Villapoika makes his way around the defense. Can't get the shot away. Excellent bit of stick work from behind by the defender. Benito. Shot on. Looks like it kind of went wide or maybe hit the goaltender and then bounced to the corner boards. Back around the net. Villapoika fighting Villikun for it. Villikun comes away with it. And you can see Villapoika was kind of staying down low, trying to cut off the passing lane as a shot from the point turned aside by Sibelius. hREDS pressuring, and the shot on at the end of the period saved by Sibelius, and this game remains tied.
And the defense and goaltending for HAVU, the story in that first period, obviously you let up that early goal, but you cannot harp on that. 58 more minutes of hockey to play there, and HAVU, a great response there. Flyer Kungen getting the goal to tie this thing up, and really from that point forward, you saw them push back a little bit, get a little bit of offensive zone time, but when hREDS was able to get back to that game on offense, a couple of kind of breakaway-esque opportunities from Villapoika, the defense getting back, not letting him get a good shot on, and then Sibelius, when the shots did get to him, being in position, making the saves when called upon. So HAVU, maybe not the offensive flair or the offensive pressure that you would ideally want to see from them, but considering all things, nice to see them tied at 1-1, getting a response, and the defense and goaltending really stepping up for them in this game.
Yeah, it really is, and that's 7 registered shots at the end of the first for hREDS, which is a lot more than they had in the previous game, so they seem to want to put a bit more pressure on Sibelius, going to be a bit less choosy with some of the shots that they're taking. That being said, they were quite far ahead in that time and attack advantage as well, which is very much like them. We'll see if HAVU is going to be able to counteract that in some way, but Nicky Dangles in all alone, is saved by Sibelius. What a way to start a period. hREDS, just those hot starts all series long, and almost made HAVU pay for it right there, as it will be an offside.
Yeah, hREDS, they don't want to waste any time. They're like, okay, if it's a tie game of the period, we're going to go fast and furious to start that next period out. A second opportunity there at the start. The first one they were able to capitalize on. The second one, unfortunately for them, not able to go in, but just kind of shows you can never let your guard down against this team in hREDS. They will find a way and take advantage if you do.
Oh, yes, that was, I believe, another credited face-off win for Dominointi, bringing the total 7-1. So winning the face-off battle, but surprisingly, they're unable to really capitalize on it. I think that's just location of the draws. They've really been in the defensive zone, and you can see why. The forecheck from hREDS here wreaking havoc in the HAVU zone. Domi with the puck. Domi sends it down. Nicky Dangles can't quite get a handle on it. Villikun will look to work it out. Saucer pass doesn't work. The sauce back the other way. Doesn't quite hit Villapoika. Behind the net, Benito working with it. Fending off the pressure from Billy Kuhn. Flyer Kuhn comes in for support, gets the puck, passes it up, and you can see Nasustelli looking to join the rush, but nothing going. Reset. Billy Kuhn and Nasustelia working with each other. Pass up the Flyer. Kungen can't get through, gets clobbered at the line and back the other way. Vilipoika back to King of Apes, who maintains possession, tries to feed the slot, but no one's home. Flyer Kungen may have thought about getting that stretch pass up to Weagleson, but here's a chance. Nice drop pass from Dominointi. The second opportunity he gets. That was Nasustelia on the first one, and Dominointi couldn't put home the rebound. Weagleson trying to get the jump and chase going, but goes over the glass.
Yeah, we kind of get a chance to breathe here after, well, it's a few opportunities there, and you're kind of seeing now it's a little bit more of a back and forth after hREDS seemed to kind of have that pressure the first few minutes. Now it's a little bit more of a neutral zone battle, so maybe the chance for HAVU to kind of get that pushback that they've been able to kind of respond for a few times in the series.
hREDS here in the neutral zone, trying to find their way in, but having a bit of trouble as HAVU tightening up at the blue line. Will have another offside here. 11:05 remaining in this second period. We'll see if Benito can turn his fortunes back the other way in the circle. Nice tie-up there. Once again, Dominointi will be credited with the win. As Billy Kuhn tried to push his way through, I think Flyer Kungen's right foot may have come just over the blue line.
You know, something that was really interesting, we kind of talked about it in our opening to the series, is like you said with the face-offs, Benito and Dominointi were pretty even. 52.5% for Dominointi, 50.1% for Benito. So surprising to see such a large gap between the two games as HAVU gets a chance right there.
Yeah, and for a large portion of the season, Benito was actually below 50%, and he's struggling again in this matchup against Dominointi. As they get another tie-up, and they do win that back. Dominointi with possession. Pass back to Nasustelia, back down low to Dominointi. Creeps in around the net. Flyer Kungen elects not to shoot, tries to feed the middle for Weagleson, but unable to get the shot away. Pass up to Vilipoika, between the legs move, can't quite connect on it. Collision of two HAVU skaters in there behind the net. Shot from the point, hits off a body, trying to send that one up as Weagleson was trying to take off. Couldn't quite connect in a awkward shot animation for Benito. That one will go down for icing, so hREDS staying in that offensive zone.
Yeah, now it's going to be even more important to try to win that faceoff because Benito, unfortunately, not able to win a lot of these, while HAVU has been able to clear those chances out of their own defensive zone and gain some chances in the offensive zone from the faceoff circle. So we'll see if they can turn it around here.
That one was briefly won by Benito, but HAVU will carry it out back the other way. Dominointi receives the pass from Flyer Kungen, but they can't keep the attack going. He dangles now to Lang. And just a kind of a dump play up, and what a play it turned out to be as Vilipoika got it. Benito following up on the opportunity. Dominointi, having to avoid the forecheck now, will elect to just chip that one out as Nicky Dangles, you see, has remained back there on that. They're doing a bunch of slap pass plays, and he's sort of hanging back there. Weagleson will retrieve the puck. Nothing came of that rush for hREDS. Up to Flyer Kungen to Billy Kuhn, who gets clobbered by Domi. Trying to cut across the middle. Scott Stevens coming through. And Nicky Dangles just forces his way through. We'll get that puck behind the net. Trying to maintain possession. Can't do so. Weagleson will break it out now. Down the left wing side, can't get through. Flyer Kungen able to get the puck. 3 hREDS jerseys around him, fighting through, finally with some support, but they can't maintain possession. Back the other way, Vilipoika crosses the line. Back down low to Benito, over to Nicky Dangles, and Nasustelli may have saved a goal by getting in the way of that, but they might not be out of the woods. The puck bouncing in front of the net now, clear to 2-on-1 developing for HAVU. The kind of a backhand shot on, looking for a rebound or something. Weagleson was running out of space. Dominointi now. Looking around the net. Trying to find a pass, to clock ticking down. Dominointi coming out front, looking for a shot. He simply can't pull the trigger for the hREDS defense in his face, and this period ends as it began, tied at 1.
That chance there for hREDS, that's an example of how good defense can be such a big help to a goaltender. A great job from HAVU's defenders and Nasustelia, and Vinny Kuhn was back there as well, but it was Nasustelia that was able to get in the way of that clear-cut opportunity for hREDS. And man, if you're HAVU, that had to be a really good feeling period. They held hREDS to no shots that period. You had mentioned earlier, since 7 shots for hREDS in the first. They're still at 7 after the second period, while HAVU was able to get 3 on net for themselves. So if you're HAVU, that is the period that you want to have. Now you just gotta hope that you can keep playing this way defensively and maybe capitalize one at least to maybe get yourselves this lead.
That's about as big of a victory in a period as you can have without kind of taking the lead for HAVU there. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a victory in itself to hold this hREDS squad to no shots with how aggressive they've been with the time of attack they've been able to have and the forechecking pressure, forcing those turnovers. Just a good job. Well, they get their first registered shots, so they won't goose egg them again in this period on shots at least.
Yeah, and it kind of just feels like a formality that they will get at least one chance nevertheless, and that says a lot just because hREDS has the most shots out of any team in the league with 412, so you are doing it against a team that has shot the puck well all season long against really everyone that they have faced.
Good read right there by Weagleson, reading that his center jumped on the draw, so he just raced towards the middle to try to disrupt anything that was going to happen. Heads up play from him. Now HAVU trying to work it out. Big hit by Nicky Dangles, and they couldn't quite get the turnover. And back in the offensive zone, they go offside.
You know, that's a name I think that we have not heard the last of yet. Nicky Dangles, at least to his standards, which is pretty high with him being one of the best forwards in all of ECL Elite. Rather quiet today. I haven't really heard his name too much. Would not be shocked if he maybe shows up on a play sooner than later, because for his standards, not a lot of action really so far for him through these first 5 periods between the 2 games.
Definitely expect to see a lot more of him as this game wears on, especially when it gets into the clutch time, looking for a stretch pass. Nasustelia turns it around quick, and HAVU simply can't enter the zone. The recovery from hREDS on the defensive end is just second to none. And they're breaking it out once again. Benito, if you hurry. No, they're not going to quite get the 3-on-2 out of it. Good back check from HAVU, lining up at the line themselves to try to prevent this, but Villapoika gets it down low, trying to between the legs play in front. Had Nicky Dangles there in support. Domi sent down low to Benito. Benito down low to Nicky Dangles, pass over to Villapoika, takes the shot, turned away by Sibelius. And empty net, that will be a delayed penalty, touched up now by HAVU. We'll see that hREDS power play once again. The interference on the captain, Flyer Kungen, for that little bump right there. Thought he was going to grab the puck.
Yeah, and HAVU, they've been solid on the PK in this game so far and in this series in general, but they're going to have to do it yet again. And without their captain in Flyer Kungen, one of those two-way players that's really good on the defensive end and has that high IQ. So we'll see how they'll do here against this hREDS power play to kind of keep this a tie game.
Puck kept in early on for hREDS. They'll set up. Villapoika, a nice little spin play. Dominointi clears it, but not out. Domi. Bit of stick work there, down low to Benito. Benito back up to Domi. Circles around, presenting the threat. There it is, the shot, far side. Turned away by Sibelius with the blocker. Benito, down low to Villapoika, back up top. And down low. Nicky Dangles now behind the net. Nicky Dangles, and there it is! My partner called it. Watch out for Nicky Dangles. He gets the go-ahead goal with a fancy play coming from behind the net on the power play.
You know, I always kind of wonder if the players playing maybe have us in the background, and maybe he did right there. He said, hey, you want a goal? Here you go. We'll get one right here to take the lead back from HAVU, and it's right on that same kind of area that we saw hREDS score their first goal, right on that right post. It's really hard for a goalie to be able to stop that when you have that backhand extended to the other post to the opposite side. Sibelius not able to save it, and as we mentioned, Nicky Dangles, a little quiet, won't be that way for long. He scores right there, and it could potentially be one that could be the game winner with the way that this game has kind of seen itself play out.
Yeah, it's very tight checking, very tight defensively. Not a lot of space for either team, but Nicky Dangles made his own space on the man advantage, and make no mistake, that's a calculated play from behind the net to sneak that in. Once again, Nicky Dangles out-skating towards the front of the net, looking for another chance. Villapoika down low to Benito. Benito all around the net. Nicky Dangles lets off, but King of Apes misses it. We'll see a 2-on-1 for HAVU. Weagleson and Flyer Kungen. Weagleson tries the drop pass, but Dominointi couldn't connect. Now back to the point, Nasustelia. Dominointi. Back up top. Dominointi with a quick shot, looking for the rebound. That was Flyer Kungen, crashed in the net, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Billy Kuhn will reset. Time ticking down. HAVU down once again. They will dump in chase. Cross corner. And nice little work on the hip check there by Flyerkungen, forces the turnover. Wiegelson back to Flyerkungen, back out front. Couldn't connect on the pass, but Villikun gets the away for a split second, but here they come. 2-on-1 now for HREDS. Benito, between the legs move, his signature, but unfortunately cannot get the shot away. Sibelius will smother it.
Man, it's so hard to pull off moves like that against these elite teams, but you love when these players can show off that skill set that they have and give us a little bit of flair, especially in a tight game like we have right here.
Definitely is Villapoika. Shot from a tough angle gives Sibelius a little bit of trouble there with the way that rebounded, it looked like. Nonetheless, HAVU on the counterattack. Villikun sneaks in, just powers his way through. Back to Flyerkungen on the point. Oh, tries to go over to Nasustelia, but that excellent stick work by Nikki Dangles, and they're back in on the attacking zone. Back to the point. Nikki Dangles now. Looking for the play around the net. Poked off Dominoiti's stick, and HAVU finally get it out. Domi now. Poked off by Flyerkungen. What a play right there. El skating his way in across, and they score! Dominoiti puts it home. This game is tied. A beautiful, beautiful solo effort from Flyerkungen to make that play happen.
Kind of talked about earlier how Dominoiti was kind of the playmaker for this HAVU team. Well, the playmaker is the goal scorer in this case, and it couldn't have come at a bigger time. Down by one, time ticking, and HAVU finds a way like they have done so well throughout this game. I was going to mention at the next break, they've been so good at having that pushback. When would it come, and would HREDS be able to push it away? Well, we've gotten our answer, and we may be looking at extra hockey, Sin.
Absolutely, or perhaps HAVU want to end it right here. They're back on the attack with a vengeance, and they will be going to the power play. This is a terrible time for HREDS to take a penalty with that real-time last minute. This presents an enormous opportunity for HAVU.
And for HREDS, you almost wonder if you maybe take a pause and a timeout to kind of collect yourselves. You were up in this game, everything going your way. HAVU comes down and gets a score on a quick rush, and now they're on the power play just mere seconds later for the rest of this period. Huge kill and big time for defense and goalies.
What a shot from Flyerkungen, trying to pick the corner early on this power play. Just a rifling wrister that just sailed wide. And yeah, you said it. I mean, maybe confidence coming out from HREDS. They want to save that timeout for the potential of overtime, but maybe a bit risky as well. Flyerkungen can't quite get the puck. And Benito back the other way. They're attacking shorthanded. That's the level of, oh no. And that was Dominoiti going for the hit. The man simply didn't get the puck back. And once again, I think HAVU kind of destroying their own advantage there by taking a penalty while they had the power play.
Yeah, it's one thing if HREDS beats you. It's one thing if HAVU beats themselves. You cannot do that against a team this caliber. You have momentum. You have a chance to maybe take this thing in regulation against HREDS, and you take the penalty on your own power play. Really unfortunate there for HAVU. Now you're going to have to try to get something on this 4-on-4 and then stave off a power play in overtime if it gets there.
Absolutely, and that's tough. Dominoiti is the face-off guy, too, and he's been doing so well in this game. It's a tough loss, but HAVU went on the attack with a bit of extra space. Wiegelson behind the net, working around. Villikun also down low, so Flyerkungen covering him. Nikki Dangles, one-on-one with Flyerkungen. He says, no, you're not getting around me, young man. Trying to get the puck back. Sent around. Nasustelia now. Up to Wiegelson, works his way in, has Flyerkungen, pass made, that looked like a trip as well. A flurry of penalties here. We'll see a rare 4-on-3 penalty with 15.5 seconds left here in the third.
Yeah, and the Stripes have been kind of inserting themselves in this game, but not to their own fault. A lot of kind of odd penalties for really both of these two teams. HAVU, the least penalized team in the league with 52 minutes. They took that one, but they get bailed out with a 4-on-3 now, so let's see if they can score on it.
A lot of space out there, not a lot of time. Nasustelia gets crushed, and that's actually going to be another power play. That should mean there's going to have to be a computer out there, if I'm not mistaken. This could present a very, very interesting opportunity here. 3 men in the box for HREDS, 2 in the box for HAVU, but they will have to take the 5-on-3, or no, they don't. Okay.
4-on-3 with a computer defenseman for HREDS.
Oh, okay. I see, yeah. It's an extended 4-on-3. Send it all the way down. So this is going to be interesting heading into overtime here. How exactly it's going to work. In all my time here at the ECL, I don't think we've ever seen a computer getting forced out onto the ice unless there's some kind of disconnect, in which case they just stop it. So, I mean, we said this was a wild season, and it was only going to get wilder, and here we are on the last broadcast of the season, and, well, apparently there's a computer playing for hREDS.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting. It's interesting because we kind of said how we've seen a little bit of everything, and now we're really seeing a little bit of everything. The only thing missing is seeing either Sibelius or FaZe rip one across in net and win it in overtime for one of these two teams. With the way this one's gone, I wouldn't put it past either of them, but wow, Sin, what are we witnessing right now? hREDS with that 2-1 lead with about 4 minutes to go. You kind of feel like the way they're playing this plays to their hand. It goes to their advantage, and HAVU on that one counterattack able to take advantage, and they get the power play. So, interestingly enough, now with multiple penalties, hREDS not only down a man, but literally down a man, a computer on the ice. So if HAVU can take advantage, the potential to steal this win and maybe move themselves up in the standings.
Look to do that here. Pass back to Nasu Stelia. Over to Weagleson. The shot on the one-time blocked ahead. As the, I don't know what we'll call him. The compy tries to clear. I don't know. We got to give him a name. Nasu Stelia now back to Flyer Kungen. Playing a little catch right there. Looking on the, on that short side right there. Couldn't quite get the one-time off, but we're going to be back to looking like on 5-on-3 now with the HAVU man coming out of the box. So, see what kind of players are on the ice. That is all 3 skaters for hREDS are now human, so the robot takeover has been eliminated for the time being. Weagleson, nice pass. Nasu Stelia had some space on that glove side, just hit a body. Weagleson now. Couldn't quite get it in. Nasu Stelia, an awkward pickup. Villikun couldn't make the pass over. King of Apes clears it. And right now, that's a big chase coming out from Villapoika. Nice hip check coming out, but that will create an on-man coming back the other way. Nasu Stelia and Weagleson. Nasu Stelia trying to get the shot away himself, and FaZe plays it out. Gutsy move right there, but that will be the end of the power play cleared, and nice pass up there to Benito, who takes the puck in. A bit of a bullet dodge there, I'd say, in overtime for hREDS.
Yeah, to say the least, and if hREDS wins this game, they're going to look back on that penalty kill and say that's where things changed.
Back now to Nasu Stelia. Weagleson down low, can't get the puck through, and Domi will lead the attack back the other way. Nice poke there, but fortunately Domi couldn't react and pass it up and create a counterattack going the other way, so they'll have to reset. Nasu Stelia passes Domi, but he's offside on the play.
It's going to be interesting to see where the momentum kind of leads now. We had that weird sequence where with all those penalties after HAVU had the game-tying goal. Now things are kind of up in the air. Either of these two sides can seize this momentum and maybe see themselves get a game winner because of it. So this could be a big few minutes to maybe bode well for either of these two chances to win this game.
Right now, HAVU seemingly trying to get the better of the possession here. hREDS struggling a bit more, but out comes the dump and chase. Benito trying to beat Villikun will do it with the body position. Careful now, but Dominoiti kind of goes off his goaltender a bit as he picked up that puck. Right back in the attack come hREDS. Villikun with a nice intercept. Here come Weagleson with Nasu Stelia right on his tail. They both get by. Pass back to Villikun. Shot blocked dangerously, but fortunately corrals over to Nasu Stelia. Dump and chase coming out. There's Flyer Kungen on the cross corner. Dominoiti will retrieve. Dominoiti looking for a pass, trying to get it back, but Nicky Dingle's right there, not allowing any passes to the point. Villapoika in on the attack, sent over. Dominoiti with the pickup, back the other way. Back and forth hockey right now as Weagleson tries to bull rush forward. Flyer Kungen had it for a second, but couldn't maintain. Dominoiti, nice stick work there to break up the rush attempt coming out from hREDS. This is as tight as it gets here between these two teams. HAVU, hREDS, neck and neck, duking it out here in overtime. Flyer Kungen can't quite get the puck. Nice stick checks. Fighting down low with Domi for it. They will retrieve. Dominoiti, beautiful pass down low. Weagleson gets it. Side of the net. A couple quick passes there. Looked like it went out to Dominoiti out front. Couldn't quite pull the trigger. Weagleson gets crushed by King of Apes. Flyer Kungen in on their support, trying to get that puck back. Both teams forechecking furiously right now. It's good to see. Neither team setting back. They're willing to take risks to try to get that game-winning goal. Domi now to Nicky Dangles. They cross the line, but not for long. But they do get the puck back on their forechecking pressure. Pass over. Big save by Sibelius, robbing Nicky Dangles on the backhand.
Oh man, and Sibelius, has he answered the call every time he has been asked to? A big save there when things have been a little bit quiet. Easy to let one get by you when you haven't had that constant shots on net, that constant pressure. A big job by Sibelius there to keep sharp in a big overtime for this HAVU gaming team.
Big poke right there coming out from Nicky Dangles, but he has to pull off as that puck was heading to the goaltender. But now pressuring Weagleson now, trying to force the turnover. Resetting is HAVU. Looking for that quick up. Oh, not quite, and it could be bad the other way. Flarkigan having to rush back, was potentially looking for that Omaha. Had a step, but the lane wasn't there. And Domi will get it, trying to send that back. Could go for icing. Great job by Nasu Stelia to get body position right there. Cleanly as well. No L1 right there. Just got that body position and prevented the hREDS skater getting to that puck.
What makes that so big is Dominoity's been great at the face-off circle. We'll see if he can get it good.
Fortunately, loses that one. And hREDS trying to get in on the attack. Domi, the puck is Villapoika trying to work with it. Oh, Nicky Dangles, a quick shot on. Sibelius turns it away. Quick little slap shot there from Domi. Interesting play, but they are able to keep the puck in. Shot blocked back to King of Apes. Shot on, turned aside by Sibelius and back the other way. Here comes Weagleson. Might have a step. Self-sauce to get around. Has a bit of space, but the back check too much. Fighting for it now. Weagleson. Looking around the net. Finds Flyer Kungan. Back to Nasu Stelia. Takes the shot. Blocked. Here come hREDS again. Overtime between these two teams. Always exciting. Perhaps even more so right now with how they've both been playing today. Another kind of a broken up pass right there, but hREDS unable to pounce on it. HAVU will reset. Nasu Stelia trying to hit Dominoity over the line, but they will be offside.
And we're about a minute and 9 seconds away from potentially seeing a double overtime. In this overtime period, pretty back and forth. Both teams have had their fair share of opportunities, and both goalies and FaZe and Sibelius have had to make some big saves. So really not sure, not really a lot of a tell on who could break it open. Just going to be a matter of who can capitalize on that chance that they get.
Sometimes it might just come down to something you don't expect, the bounce as well. You never know what can happen in overtime. Big hit coming out there from Weagleson. They do get the turnover. Nasu Stelia with the puck. It's Dominoity, tries the one-touch around King of Apes, but he says no. And offside now in turn for hREDS.
Yeah, and we'll see where this goes. One of those kind of neutral zone face-off that kind of leads towards the offensive or defensive zone for both of these teams. So it'll be big to see if hREDS can get this and establish it as, like we said, kind of back and forth. So that first opportunity you get, you're gonna have to capitalize.
It's turned right there, but Benito has the puck poked off of him. Nasu Stelia back the other way. Can't feed Flyer Kungan. hREDS in possession in their own end. Domi now. With the puck. It's Nicky Dangles across for Benito. Maintain it low. Nicky Dangle to Villapoika. And good defense now, but Villapoika still has it. Trying that short side. Blocked away. And here comes Weagleson and Flyer Kungan. Unable to maintain that possession. Just seconds remaining. And hREDS will take it into the zone. Kill time. We are destined for double overtime in this one as Flyer Kungan backs it up into the defensive hREDS.
Yeah, the only thing he was missing was the horn beeps there on the way he was going on that one. But that overtime period, wow, how about the hops there in front of the net? But nevertheless, really back and forth, like we were saying, neither team really able to seize that momentum and get a large flurry of opportunities. We saw HAVU kind of had a chance to seize that when they had that 5-on-3, but hREDS a nice job on that penalty kill, showing why they are the best PK in the league at 96%. And ever since then, it's really just been few and far between on who can get those chances. A couple of big saves from Sibelius and FaZe, but nothing really that's just made you really get off your seat and kind of wonder if maybe that is the winner. That'll change here as this continues to go on, but you kind of wonder if maybe that aggressiveness starting to calm down and both teams kind of being a little bit more leery of making that mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of about that balance, you know. You can't just sit back, but you don't want to overextend either. So, you know, maybe no two better teams to watch that balancing act than these two, who seem to know how to work that balance so well to get their chances and, you know, try to prevent as many as possible. And for us and the viewers, making it an incredible, exciting overtime to watch. Domi with the puck up to Benito. And nice little give and go. Unfortunately, the last pass there, King of Apes not quite close enough and unable to hold the line.
I think that something that kind of attests to that is we've seen a lot of offsides, probably more in these 2 overtime periods that we saw really all throughout the first 3 periods. It just kind of feels like at that blue line, things are just becoming a little bit more stuck and a little bit more stagnant than they were before.
Behind the net, Flyerkungen and Wiegelson working together, unable to sustain the pressure. Again, that's been so hard for them. hREDS, their collapse is just so strong. They prevent shots from getting through. They prevent passes from getting through, but got to try to sometimes keep going back to those areas. Benito with the intercept. Drop pass to Villapoika. Give and go back to Villapoika. Doesn't quite go. Benito still with the puck. And hREDS maintaining possession. Down low to Nicky Dangles. And Domi on the pinch, keeping it alive. Low to Nicky Dangles, feeding it across, but Villapoika can't pull the trigger. Flyerkungen. Somehow, Domi got a piece of that pass up the ice. So if he was perhaps injured, Wiegelson might have been able to race for that puck and have a chance. Villapoika now tries it between the legs himself and maintains possession behind the net. Back up top to Domi. Domi avoiding the stick check of Flyerkungen. Tries to feed the middle. Nicky Dangles was there, but so were the HAVU defense. Wiegelson, the puck goes across the line, but the disruption from King of Apes stalls them out. Icing beat out from Villapoika. Tries the quick pass back to Benito. Unable to connect. Benito now circling around between the legs out front. He absolutely loves that move, and he'll pull it out anywhere on the ice. He knows it so well. Knows how the mechanics work and can get to great shooting locations because of it. Nasustelia now. Over. Dominoity to Flyerkungen, but once again unable to get over the line with possession. Bad pass there. Wiegelson unable to capitalize with it, but he has possession now. Going for it behind the net. Dominoity with it. Tries to stop up, feed it for Flyerkungen. They can't maintain. Flyerkungen now has it down low to Wiegelson out front. Billy Kuhn from the hard angle. That was Flyerkungen trying to see if they could catch FaZe off guard, but as he often is, completely unfazed on that shot. Wiegelson now fighting for the puck, does maintain possession. HAVU now getting to the better of the pressure. Wiegelson down low again. Flyerkungen follows up, couple hits behind the net, maintain possession. Trying to pass out front, does get the puck back. Flyerkungen, wrap around, not there. Pinch from Billy Kuhn, keeps the puck alive, Wiegelson with it. Now Flyerkungen gets the puck poked off, he's going to have to be careful too. The nice puck chop right there. 2 hREDS skaters bearing down on him, and he gets the puck chop away. The boards from Billy Kuhn, trying to hit Flyerkungen, has some space. Great pass from Dominoity, great pass to Wiegelson. Wiegelson in, the rebound chance, stopped by FaZe. Dominoity couldn't capitalize. We're headed back the other way. hREDS. Nicky Dangles working with King of Apes and Benito. Benito has it down low. The sauce pass to the middle, dangerous location, and a nice poke to keep it alive. Flyerkungen taking his time. Resets with Nasustelia. Go look for the breakout. Got to be a bit careful. That hREDS pressure is coming, and it's getting closer and closer. Dominoity just sends it out, looking for the connection. Actually, Villikuhn's going to beat that puck out. I don't think there was icing on the play anyway. Flyerkungen with the puck, tries to feed it across. The pass doesn't get there, and hREDS will come back the other way. Pass over Nicky Dangles. Stop. There's a helmet blocking a dangerous skittering puck past the line. Nothing came of it, though, as HAVU trying to gain the line once again. King of Apes, interesting pass picked off by Wiegelson. Nasustelia, shot blocked. Dominoity couldn't get the shot away as the pass didn't get to him. Benito now taking it back the other way. Just back and forth action between these two teams. hREDS, the helmet. Oh, unfortunate for Nicky Dangles. The helmet doesn't allow him to get that puck cleanly. He could have had an in-tight chance all alone, but the helmet playing defense. King of Apes feeds Villapoika. Benito now. Back around the net, hits the post from the side. Looked to be just kind of throwing that out front. Anything at this point to try to get that game winner. We are down to a minute in overtime too. So you recall a couple seasons ago, this team went to about 4 overtimes, and they're the reason why we have a Marathon Monday. So buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We could be seeing something similar today. Dominoity feed up to Billy Kuhn. Wiegelson trying to bull his way in. Can't do so. And King of Apes unable to do so as well. Wiegelson now back the other way. Back and forth once again. Offside warning. hREDS may drop back. They do try to get the touch. And will that actually go for icing? No, it will not. Be reset. hREDS now. Puck trying to wind it down, bit basketball style, making sure that they get this last shot on net. Villapoika back to Domi. Shot on from King of Apes. Bouncing puck. Maintaining calm presence in net is Sibelius. Maybe one more chance. The pass just a bit off for HAVU. And another pass off, and we will be headed for triple overtime.
And if you are watching, I hope you are in a comfortable part of your couch or chair, and I hope you have a snack and a drink, because these two teams look like they don't plan on ending this thing anytime soon. What a game, and what a two-game series that we have seen so far, Sid. And we kind of said how, man, things are a little slow to start off here in this overtime. Well, it really started to ramp up. The intensity started to really pick up there in the last 5 to 10 minutes there of that OT, and you can kind of start to feel it that maybe just that one bounce, that one little open space play is just a little bit away from capitalizing. We saw some really close calls there for hREDS, so much so that a helmet on the ice was the best defender on a play for HAVU. So we could be seeing one here sooner rather than later, but man, oh man, such little separating these teams in terms of the momentum and the swings that we've seen back and forth.
Yeah, and the skill level as well. And you can, at this point, it's going to become a battle of mental fortitude. As that period wore on, we kind of started seeing a couple more minor uncharacteristic mistakes. King of Apes feeding it right to Weagleson in his own end. You just don't see King of Apes doing that. A couple other scenarios as well, but here we are. Triple overtime, still looking for a winner. Villapoika trying to just go right up the middle, as hREDS love to start off those periods quickly. Unable to do so. Weagleson can't get by King of Apes. Benito will dump it in. Great play by Villikun. Over to Nasustelia, who will lead the rush himself. Over to Weagleson, to the middle. Dominowinty gets crushed by Villapoika, but they maintain possession. Weagleson sends up the top to Nasustelia. To Weagleson. Back out front, Villikun. Takes the shot and he scores! Villikun is the hero for HAVU in triple overtime from the place where he loves to shoot the puck. He wins it. HAVU will walk home 3-2 after this one.
That is a gigantic second point for HAVU, because they came in to that game just 2 points behind that fifth spot. They cannot get fourth over Fediastad, but they could potentially, depending on tiebreakers, get to where IQ is at that fifth spot. So we'll see how that develops once these games kind of settle themselves and that tiebreaker kind of goes into place. But man, oh man, HAVU with a huge win over hREDS. Even if they don't get that fifth spot, how big of a momentum builder is that for the playoffs? A triple overtime win over arguably one of the championship contenders, or the championship favorite in hREDS. What a game, what a two-game series that we just saw, Sid. Absolutely amazing.
I mean, my voice is getting to the point of shredded is the best way I can describe it. I couldn't help myself. You can't help but get stoked when these two teams are going at it in the way that they were. And to see Villikun get that game winner, the defense's league leading goal scorer amongst defensemen, gets his 11th on the season. And I mean, what a way to end it. I saw him creep in there, and that's just the spot that he always creeps in, usually to one time. It didn't do it that time. Delayed, got the wrister off, and scored. It's just, what a performance from those two teams. What a crazy game, and good for HAVU getting 2 points out of that. And if you're hREDS, 3 out of 4 points as well. I mean, they're kind of just more so playing for pride, but I mean, pride on the side of HAVU for that victory in that last one.
Yeah, and obviously in that game one, they had already clinched that 1 seed over over Sawo, as we'll probably get to see that game winner here in just a little bit from Villikun. But nevertheless, obviously, like you said, HAVU didn't really have a lot to play for in terms of the standings in the second game. But like you said, still some pride to play for. Never want to end your season on a loss, but HAVU had something to play for, had that chance to move up to 5 and to avoid that 3-6 matchup with Frölunda, and they're able to potentially do so here, as there's that OT winning shot there from Villikun. A lot of traffic in front of the net, and FaZe a little out of position there, slides a little bit too much to his right. That opens up for Villikun, who, like you said, so good at shooting from that spot, knows where to pick his spots in that area, does so at a big point there. So a nice job from HAVU to be able to clinch that win, and what was a very entertaining and even mentally tiring game for both of these two sides. So a nice job for them to get that momentum rolling the right way going into playoffs.
It's a fantastic set of games that we had to call today. And again, shout out to ZSC and Feriestad for getting us started with their 2-game set, which was fireworks all over the place and wrapped up by this HAVU and hREDS set of games, which we figured would be great going in. And I mean, it blew those expectations out of the water, to say the least. It was just, fantastic set of games. And thank you guys all for watching. And I think we can get a look at the standings as well. I'm not too sure if things are updated quite yet, but we might have a lot more info on kind of where all those final seedings are taking shape here. But even if not, I mean, we kind of know we're seeing these two teams in the playoffs for the very least. It's just a matter of seeding. And yes, indeed, thank you. Well, for the most part, everything reported. That last game between hREDS and HAVU, not quite. So HAVU will be sitting there with the 43 points, hREDS with 53, which will obviously give them in that one spot. So I think it comes down to tiebreaker between IQ and HAVU, and
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, I believe HAVU will have that, so they will likely jump into that 5 spot.
Yeah, it looks like they will, depending on that tiebreaker. They have the better goal differential than IQ, so we'll kind of see where that takes us. But man, that could be huge, as we're just getting an update. Looks like wins is actually the tiebreaker if you go back to the standings. So in that case, IQ, I believe IQ would be the one that would jump in to that, or actually stay rather at that 5th spot. So HAVU gonna have to play for London. They might not be excited about it, but Sin, I can tell you, as somebody not wearing that black and green jersey, I certainly am excited to see that matchup there between two champions and two powerhouses there in round 1.
Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a matchup, as we got a quick look there at Yippee Vaskala, and brought us back to old times as we saw the pro division there for a minute. And looks like our bracket want to cooperate right now, but that's okay, as this was just a fantastic matchup. We're going to have to let those games speak for themselves, and the playoffs, when they get here, will be speaking for themselves as well. But all you guys out there, we got to thank you for watching. It was tremendous. Shout out to our sponsors, Wilhelm, Koblan Lakritzy, ST Hockey, for helping make this season what it has been heading into the playoffs. The hype has perhaps never been higher. If you guys are out there, follow B Major on Twitter, as you can see it down below. And anything else you do, any other links that the people out there should follow for you?
Hey, just the Twitter, but thank you to Sports Gamer GG and for having me on. Obviously, Tui gonna be back next week. Love you guys on the call, but it was a really fun time to sit here in this perspective and to be able to call 4 really good games, especially with some of the hockey we had, a little bit of everything really. So playoff time next week. Can't wait to watch in the Elite. I'll be on the pro coverage with Mr. It's King Lime, so feel free to watch out for that, as one of those teams, 2 or 3 of those teams potentially might be here next season, depending on how regulation series shake out and who wins in that one. So make sure to be able to follow that here, as playoff time. Since that time of year, we always wait for it, and it's do or die time now. Regular season doesn't mean anything. It is now all about what is in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're going to get a look at the bracket, which is working. This is it. The playoff tree for the Elite Division. It is finalized. It is here. hREDS going up against the 8th seed and Goons. Sawa, the 2 seed, taking on Granite Gaming, the 7 seed. And then we're seeing El Clasico, but now it's in the first round instead of the championship. Frölunda taking on HAVU Gaming. That series is going to have some fireworks for sure. And then Feriestad taking on IQ. I can't wait for the playoffs to get started. I'm sure you guys can't wait out there either. So we're all going to have to rest up, get ready, and prepare. Thank you all very much for watching. For B Major, my name is Sin. Thank you for joining us. You can follow me, as you see on screen, or on YouTube, Sin for the Win Productions. But most importantly, be back here for playoffs. You are not going to want to miss it.